Can we start with a few tips for parents or would-be parents on how they can approach neurodevelopment for their child, the do's and don'ts, for example?
Yes. Um, the most important thing I think for parents, especially nowadays, what I've seen is they feel parenting is very, very hard compared to earlier. And that possibly goes in with because of a lot of pressure on a lot of things, which information on this has to be done, this should not be done, or research says this is what is correct, this is what is wrong. And of course, the era where we see screen is playing a very, very big role in all of our lives. So one of the most important things for to be parents as well, or parents who are having children who are young and developing, is I think they should just enjoy their parenthood. Spend as much quality time as possible with your children, play with them, run and jump, try to engage in as many activities as possible, try to be a part of their interests as well. And that connects and brings in that emotional attachment so much for the child, which is one of the core foundations to what they carry for the rest of their life as well. So that plays a very, very important role. And secondly, keeping a track of their development is also very, very important. We often tell parents that educate yourself as much as possible so that you understand what opportunity can I provide my child. Let's say a baby is 9 month old or 12 month old. How do I play? How do I engage? What kind of activities or toys would be appropriate for them? What is the expected behavior for this child? So being learned gives them a vast array of opportunities on how to interact and connect with the child a lot better. So these are the two important things. I think one, being in the moment, enjoying being with them, and at the same time providing as much opportunity as possible to help them develop to their best potential.
Well said. I mean, in terms of approach, I think they have to work together as a team as well and have realistic expectations, because many times the parents have expectations based on some perception they have or comparison with other families. So never compare with other kids or siblings, or even if they are twins, don't compare each other. Don't put pressure on the kids and don't put pressure on yourself, because expectation is the key as to why parents get frustrated or they start putting pressure. And each child is different in terms of their trajectory. So, do you want to mention a few points which affect the child's development, the pace at which they develop?
Yes. One important thing, two important things rather. One is the nurture and the nature. The nature, which is the genetic potential, like you had mentioned, every child or every individual has their own unique potential. They have their own strengths, their own challenges, or their own areas which are not their strengths per se. And then comes the role of nature, which is how the environment around the child is helping them to reach to their best abilities. And this would be right from nutrition, the quality of sleep the child has, the environmental opportunities, the emotional attachment, because a child who is anxious or child who's in an environment which is not very safe and stable can lead to a lot of challenges in their development, their communication, their socio-emotional abilities, and so forth. So it's always a balance of both the ability which they are born, but also us giving them the right environment. Helping limit screen time in today's era is again a very, very big challenge, and providing them a lot more opportunities to build on their skills is very important.
You mentioned nutrition, and I would add hydration as well. I mean, so they need to drink enough, and sleep times again are haywire. I mean, in UAE, for example, many parents are working late and they want to spend time with their kids. So it's a natural feeling that they don't see the kids at during the day. Many of even doctors are working split shift. So by the time you come home, it's 9:30. Then you tend to have dinner together as a family. And we know that that's not the ideal way to bring up the child. I mean, if you are bringing up your child in UK, for example, they go to bed at 7:30. They're fresh when they go to school. And unfortunately, here we tend to modify our routine. If you go to the malls in the evening, you'd see the children playing around at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, when even we would be sleeping. So you're disrupting their routine. They're not going to have the children at that age need a good length of sleep. They need to rest well. So it becomes a challenge. How do you balance your work life as well as your family life, and how do you find the so some sacrifices have to be made by the parents? I mean, do you see that in your practice as well, that I mean the parents working times and everything impinge on the child's output?
Yes, sir. It does a lot. Like you rightly said, I think the work timings does affect them, especially when we say, you know, your child should be in bed by at least 8:30, not later than 9 o'clock, to have a good night's sleep. Most parents say we reach back home that time. So it's just not possible for us to cater to that kind of an environment. So we always advise maybe balance work in, maybe the parents take turns, or there is a caregiver at home who's able to spend quality time with the child. Over the weekends, try and compensate to whatever is possible. So working around with their availability is the best option for them at this point. Yeah.
And in terms of nutrition, I mean, lots of stimulants in their diet as well, right? Do you want to comment on that?
Yes. Nutrition again plays a very, very important role, both in terms of growth and development. We are seeing a lot of food which is ready to eat, or even like the so-called junk food, which we are seeing. Perhaps one, it's leading to a lot of change in their health patterns, their immunity, leading to obesity, leading to the gut digestion and the tolerance to the food that they have. And two, we are also seeing that their overall nutritional requirements are not met. Possibly it's more of the calories, but not the micronutrients. And we do see a lot of deficiencies in their iron, vitamin D, zinc levels. And these tend to also start affecting their sleep in like a vicious cycle. The nutrition is compromised, sleep is getting affected. And again, it becomes an overall journey for the parent to get both sorted